All right, people, back again. I came across a spoiler, and don't worry, I'm not gonna repeat it. I'm gonna allude to it, and I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna attempt to debunk it. That's what I'm gonna try to do. So I don't believe it. I hope the show I love, my most favorite show of all time, is The Walking Dead, and the network that is on is AMC. And I hope that AMC is competent enough, if they're going to do a cliffhanger, to at least conceal the cliffhanger and not let it get spoiled before. I know they have a history with letting shit leak out. I know. But I will say this. I'm going to say the word I heard a lot because everything I know I heard or read online. I don't know any of this to be 100% true. Okay? So I just want to put that disclaimer out there right now. I'm not repeating anything as fact. It's all hearsay speculation. I heard they're paying, or AMC's paying, actors and actresses to be on set just to keep us guessing, so we can't use process of elimination to figure out who died. Now, the same could be said for the opposite. They could also be keeping people off set to throw us off. The exact opposite of paying people to be there. Now, I also heard that they filmed that death scene with everybody, so that they couldn't figure out. I know we couldn't figure out who actually died. Now, if they just let one of those deaths or two of those deaths leak out, oh, look it, here's a picture from this death, and then this person died because this guy interfered, so this person got killed after, and then they took that person hostage or prisoner or whatever. And now look it, while some of that I think might possibly be true, I don't necessarily think the chain of events is. I'm sure most of you have heard the damn spoilers by now, but I'm still not going to repeat it. Now, look it. I'm gonna. Here's some comic book spoiler warnings. Okay, if you don't want to know what happens in the comic, goodbye. And here we go. Glenn dies in the comic by Lucille, or Negan, using Lucille, a barbed wire wrapped baseball bat. Okay, so after that, Maggie is at the hilltop. Okay, until the very end, I believe it's the very end of March to War. Now, why is this important? Because it puts her out of the story. If she doesn't have any episodes to appear in, clearly she doesn't need to be filming, which means after episode 1, she won't need to be back in it until they get to that point in the show. Why is that important? Because obviously they were on the way to the hilltop because Maggie needed a doctor. They're going to get to the hilltop and the doctor's going to say, you need to stay here, you need bed rest, you need a doctor by you. You need to be by a doctor. Well, Glenn's clearly going to stay with her. And if Glenn disappears to the hilltop with Maggie, then they're both off set until basically All Out World. Maybe slightly before. Okay, so right now I think this is it's the 10th of October. I do believe they're filming around episode 11 or something like that, possibly 12. They're like middle of the back half, I think. I mean, I don't know for certain, but I think that's generally about where they are this time of year. I think usually when the show starts, they're somewhere towards the last 2 or 3 episodes. And I'm pretty sure it takes about a week to film an episode. Now that's important because, right now, what are we all doing? I mean, I hear people trying to guess and all the theories and stuff, and, these people. I've also heard Maggie, Glenn, Eugene, and Abraham haven't been on set or photographed on set since episode 1. Okay, so let's do this. Let's just say they kill one of the 4. And then Maggie and Glenn don't actually have to be back in until later on in the year. Because if they're only filming episode, let's just say they're episode 14 when the season starts filming. Okay, so episode 1's going to air. And then they're filming episode 13 or 14 or whatever. But Maggie and Glenn don't need to be back in until either episode 15, 16, or even season 8, episode 1. Because Gimple said they're going to be learning how to live with this new life in this new world through the first half of this season. Which tells me they're not going to get into March to War like I predicted. Not until the back half. Because it's a totally different storyline. Once they get into March to War, allies are being made and plans are being made and shit's going down. It happens pretty quickly. Comic book issue wise, I think it's 5 issues or something like that, 6 issues. But as far as like the things that go down in the chain of events that happen, it's pretty sudden. I mean, it goes quickly. In my opinion, it does anyway. It's not a very long, drawn-out process as far as how they're going to adapt it to the show. And I think it's entirely possible, after hearing Gimple say that they spend the first 10, 11 episodes dealing with the aftermath, the what comes after story arc, and then just barely getting into March to War. And then they can take care of March to War in the back half, and then finish with that awesome cliffhanger that leads up to All Out War. I think that's probably the route they're going to go, based on what Gimple said, which means Maggie and Glenn, if Glenn's not the one to die, can be at the hilltop and be there with Maggie, and he won't even need to be back in the damn show until either the very end of the season or the start of next season, somewhere around that time frame. Because why would they pay people to be on set to throw us off and then not do the opposite? Pay people to not be there to throw us off. So, I mean, if I had to put money on it, right, and I'm going to assume the spoiler I heard is false, okay, and it very well could be true. I hope not, but it very well could be true. I would bet Glenn and Maggie disappeared to the hilltop. One of the other two, either Eugene or Abraham, died, and I predicted it was going to be Eugene. And they're keeping Abraham offset to throw everyone off. So maybe Abraham gets fucked up, right? Maybe he takes Lucille and bashes Abraham's fucking ribs in or something. And then maybe because they say Abraham interferes, right? They bash Eugene. Let's just say that. That was my original prediction. I mean, days after. So, Abraham interferes, because that's I'll allude to a little bit of what I heard is somebody's going to interfere in what's going down. And then somebody else is taken prisoner because of it. So, I think bits and pieces of this could possibly be accurate, like, okay, well, let's just say Eugene gets bashed, and then Abraham interferes and he gets fucked up to the point where he needs to be at the hilltop at bed rest, or in hospital, and then they take the other person that I heard rumored to be taken prisoner. Bottom line is, I don't want to believe that goddamn spoiler's true. Not that it wouldn't be cool, but I want to know that AMC, it has the ability to do these goddamn cliffhangers and not let it slip out. I mean, that is utterly ridiculous. I will be so fucking disappointed, AMC. If you're listening to this video, if you somehow be one of the 10 people who watch this video and you let it slip out and you spoiled all of us, because look, this is what I do. I drive, okay, and then like I have to stop for something, I'll just load up a video. Right? Oh, boom. Okay, here's one of the YouTubers I watch, and I'll just throw on their video and drive down the road. I usually don't have a lot of time to like read the thumbnail. I just see something like real quick that I haven't watched, Walking Dead. I'll look at the hours. Oh, boom, it's new. Boom, I'll throw it on. Okay, I mean, so this particular time, I'm not gonna say the YouTuber I saw it on because it's not their fault. They had it tagged. It was my bad, but like I said, I'm driving and just listening to this. I just like listening to people talk about The Walking Dead. I like hearing the fan questions and that kind of stuff. So, anyways, that's where I'm at. AMC, you better be doing a good job here. Don't make me disappointed, goddammit. And for crying out loud, kill Nick. Alright, that's it. Like, share, and subscribe to the next video. Hasta la pasta.